Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy the Kryptonian Saiyan here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 267. And once again, fairly simple chapter, but I do like how Oda shows us something else that happened off panel, but he gives us the information in it, which is we have Luffy saying that he almost drowned because if you guys remember in the last chapter, which I left out for a reason, but in the last chapter he uses the Gum Gum Bazooka and he's trying to make his way out of this cave, right? And apparently he fell, and I remember him falling, but I don't remember there being a sea cloud down there. So apparently he almost drowned. Luffy got out, and Luffy is determined to get the hell out of there, right? And the way that the panels are drawn when Luffy's throwing these haymakers, and then you see like the huge snake, for a moment I was thinking, wow, maybe he's inside the snake. And I said, no, that wouldn't make sense. So that was that. So that's my revelation of an idiot moment that I had while I was reading. But I like how what we're seeing is Nami is having to save Aisa, right? And it's because this little girl is so determined to enter into the battlefield. And I thought that that was interesting that Oda had that in there and had Nami once again saving a little kid. But there's a huge difference between the one in Arlong Park and the one now in Skypiea. When you look at Arlong Park, right? That kid was going out for revenge because the fishman had killed his parents, right? So it's going out for revenge, whatever. Because, and the reason I said whatever is his conviction wasn't strong enough, because when Nami struck him down and gave him money, he went on his way, okay? And it's because the kid came to his senses. It's because he wasn't bred like that. Whereas when you look at this kid now, growing up in the Shandian tribe, the warrior tribe, okay? Excuse me, not tribe, but the warrior tribe, to see that, okay, it really shows that what they say about children learning based on watching adults and people they look up to is absolutely true, because that's it. That's the only way you get that mentality of, oh, well, I can't really do much, but everyone else is fighting. I hate being useless. Let me fight. It's because that's the type of environment that you've been brought up in. So I like seeing that and how Nami's having a restrainer, and she gets on the waiver, and that's when that huge snake is kind of coming out, and Nami actually ends up going into the woods. Very unexpected twist, by the way. Just when I think that, you know, the climax is coming, which I still think is coming, but I think it's going to be a nice, neat wrap up. Oda does what a lot of writers do when they want to throw readers for a loop. They just yuck it up, okay? They raise the stakes with more conflict, and then they make things messy, okay? And it's so fun to create a mess on page and then to allow yourself room to actually work on tying it into what's going on in the main story, while also getting to the ending that you had envisioned. So it's really fun. It's more challenging for Oda in this sense, because you're on a week-by-week basis, okay? So unless you take a prolonged break, if you're doing this week by week, you don't have much wiggle room. So that was cool. That was cool just to see that. Like I said, very unexpected. Now the other thing is that huge snake, okay, that first chased Nami, because Kona's unfather, like, oh my God, she went into the woods. But the snake that chased Nami, somehow, that's a big ass snake by the way, but somehow is going up high enough to where it almost eats Zoro. My intuition was right. So apparently the whole purpose of the South Bird being there is to get Zoro to the passway point to get to the temple, okay, to get to the Kami temple. And what we end up seeing is Wyper is getting ready to confront Ohm, right? And he's like, I'm going to the God's temple because that's where Enryu is going to be. And that's when we see that Gan Fall has already been there, and he says, I need to know what you guys are up to, Ohm. And Wyper can't see past his own hatred, which, again, that's a nice character flaw. He's probably one of the better written secondary characters in this arc, and it's probably easy to overlook him because he's been more of a battle character. But if you just go back and look at his character and what we've seen from the different ranges of emotion, and the flashback in general added a lot to his characterization, he immediately says, you're trying to get back your former position as Kami. I have no time for this. And Gan Fall just kind of brushes them off. And it just really showed something that Oda's been kind of drilling into readers from the very beginning of the series, when you go back to chapter 1. So when I say beginning, I mean the very beginning. When you go back to chapter 1, you have Shanks basically taking the beating and saying, I'm not going to get involved unless I have to. And it's the same approach. Gan Fall doesn't even pay Wyper much attention because he doesn't say, no, you fool, I'm not trying to take back my position as Kami. I don't want the title. It's not that. He doesn't do it. He just gets straight to the point and says, Ohm, I need to know what you guys are up to. And he has the flashback of Anel saying that after 6 years, the operation's finally getting ready to commence and finish up. So you have this full-weight battle because you have Wyper and Ohm and you have Zoro and Gan Fall. Looks like they're about to mix up. And I would be disappointed if it was like 2v2s going on. I'd like to see the three of them kind of team up to take out Ohm, because when you have chaos like that, and a battle royal will be so fun. And again, it goes to what I said. Sometimes you have to mess it up, right? But Nami had already said when those four team up, not these four in particular, but she's talking about her crew members, but she definitely said when those four team up that they're a cohesive unit that can't be beaten. And the reason why I think that that's interesting is even if you take the crew members out, and in this case you have to take the crew members out, if the four of them are fighting, right, and we have a 3v1, if we have a 3v1 fight, then that should be enough to overpower Ohm. Even with his Iron Challenge and the abilities he has, that should be enough to overpower him. And we haven't really seen teamwork. We've seen 1v1 fights and a few fodder team up. We haven't seen teamwork fights between the different members, like the higher ranking members of each of the respective crews who are going after El Dorado. So very good chapter, guys. My chapter question for you all is going to be this right here. What did you think about Nami deciding to once again try to save Aisa from herself? What did you think? But as always, guys, if you like anything I have to say, hit that like button, comment, rate, subscribe, share, stalk my social media, follow me on Twitter, hit my Facebook like button. But as always, guys, thank you for watching. Have an awesome day.
「灰色の瞳